All right, fifth grade. So let's talk about the materials and manipulatives that are going to come in your math expressions kits, and then some other tools I recommend that you consider purchasing or borrowing from other grade levels. So first, let's just talk about common language. There's multiple different kits you can get in math expressions. There's the full kit that has everything. It has all the base 10 blocks and the play money and generic manipulatives, as well as the specific math expressions ones. Oftentimes, districts opt for the custom manipulative kit, which doesn't have all those extra tools. It just has the specific math expressions tools that you'll need or that are referenced in your lessons. And then you have a teacher modeling kit. That's a separate kit that you can buy that has all of these tools in it, all of your posters and the demonstration tools that the teacher would use as they teach their lesson. Finally, you have an individual kit. These are individual plastic zip bags, has like a red trim on it, and that has all of the materials for every student individually packed in their own little bag. So it already has like their secret code cards torn apart and put in little bags for them. It's all really prepped well for them. So that's an individual student set. So what all do you have if I just talk about some custom tools? First, in your teacher modeling kit, you're going to have these posters. Now, the place value poster grows from 4th grade. It grows through 6th grade. It's a pretty important poster. It's quite large. It's laminated. You can write on it with an expo. There's a spot here that you plug in numbers. It has the fractional value. It has the money value. And then, of course, it's written as a decimal and then in words. It helps students to see I'm forgetting my word here, if I have pink in the middle, ones, okay, and then I know my line of symmetry has my tens and my tenths and my hundreds and my hundredths and my thousands and my thousands, okay. So this chart, though, we keep referencing. I mean, really the work of 5th grade is about the base 10 system and the 10 times greater and 10 times smaller. The number of times you will reference this chart is a lot, okay. Almost every unit, we're going to use it a lot. You're going to talk about coordinate planes. When you get to that unit, you have a poster just for that. You're going to have a fraction poster that again grows from 3rd grade all the way to 6th. Each grade has their own fraction poster, and it has on the side margin the various operations visually that you will do with students to remind them and to have kind of in a place to anchor that learning. It also shows you the dark colored parts of a unit fraction. So like 1/2, the purple is really dark, but you can see that the unit fraction, that dark, keeps getting smaller and smaller as you get more and more pieces, and the denominator size or the number seems like it's getting larger, the piece is getting smaller. So it's a really nice reference tool for comparison of fractions, for equivalent fractions, and just for basic unit fraction understanding. You'll reference this chart. So geometry, then you know that geometry, there's a lot more in terms of hierarchy of shapes and categorizing our various quadrilaterals and polygons. So this image here is to encourage and to help all of the different types of shapes that you're going to find, and you can build those with students, but this will be their reference chart. It also talks about area, perimeter, and volume, which are other essential geometry concepts in 5th grade. So beyond your posters, you're also going to have demonstration secret code cards. You get 2 sets. You get a whole number set and you get a decimal set. The whole number set in your teacher modeling kit is going to be big size cards that are for the teacher to be using during the lessons. You can see I put mine here on key rings. The student set, if you get an individual bags, they're already cut apart for you. If not, they come in full sheets, shrink wrapped. So you'll be tearing and perforating those, taking them apart, putting them in baggies. Be sure to see the other page in the document where this page comes from in our manipulative workbook. I have a whole page just on secret code cards and the various ways you may choose to store them or to organize them. So these are pretty important. You're going to use them in your whole number units and you're going to use them in your decimal units. As students are learning the value of decimals, as they're learning the value of how to compare them, how to add with them, okay, all of that work, you're going to be using secret code cards to help you conceptually understand those concepts. They're both very important. When they're mentioned, please use them. So that means you also have to wait to store them because they are a bit tedious in what we do with them. So if I use other materials, that's just the basics. There's not a lot of materials that come in the 5th grade kit, but there are other materials that I suggest if you don't get the full kit. First is just base 10 blocks. You're going to use those hundreds, tens, and ones as we are in our place value unit, and we're talking about getting 10 times greater and 10 times smaller. You will also use them as you make connections to decimals. So it used to be that this block was worth 100, but now what if I said it's worth 1? How much is each unit cube? How much is each 10 stick? So now we talk about those values getting smaller because now they are decimals. Centimeter cubes will be very helpful to you in your unit 8 geometry as students build nets and they have to fill up the nets with unit cubes, and you specifically need these centimeter cubes to do that. So I suggest you just get them from your place value kit and or you find them from a 3rd or 4th grade teacher, even a 2nd grade teacher. Of course, you're going to need rulers, meter sticks, and yardsticks. You're going to use those as a foundation or a benchmark to refer back to as you're doing metric conversions. So you definitely want to have some rulers. There are also paper versions of all of these in the student workbook and in the teacher book that you can always make. I like the paper versions because they roll up nicely, they fold nicely, and I can color code them and show patterning on those particular rulers. Now you have a play money. I do recommend this manipulative, especially base 10 play money, having your 1s, 10s, your dimes, and your pennies, so that as students build the number with secret code cards, they build the number with play money, and then they write it visually, whether it's in a proof picture or then now a numeric value. In addition, as we are taking parts of a part and we're multiplying with decimals or we are dividing with decimals, this play money really helps us to concretely talk about what's actually happening and how many of each coin is in each other coin, the decimal shifts, so on and so forth. Play money is going to be a pretty important tool, at least when you're introducing the concept, and then we'll move to those math drawings. So as you all know, fractions are a really important part of the 5th grade school year. I like fraction strips. I don't have them listed here. It is a nice tool. I specifically like the ones, you can get them on Amazon. They come in trays, and then the one side actually has the marking on them that, it'd say like 1/2, but then the other side is blank. I like giving students that tool on the blank side and having them figure out just by sizes how many of each make a whole. That's a great counting activity. I also like them as we learn how to add fractions and using whole numbers. But I don't love them in terms of being able to show things like equivalent fractions or being able to regroup and ungroup. They can be used for that, but I actually think your paper strip fraction manipulatives does that job better and more effectively. But if you have the strips, by all means, you should pull them out and use them. They are a great tool. I just also really like the paper fraction strips. So that's what you really have as far as your kits go in math expressions, and then some alternative materials if you did not get the full kit. So reach out if you have any questions, and good luck getting your year prepped for math class.